Hi guys, I'm joined by Tahir Raj Bhasin, someone whose journey across films and OTT has been so spectacular and impactful. From intense and layered characters to charming lead man roles, you have done amazing over your OTT journey and also film journey. Could you tell us about your journey from Mardani to now, Special Ops, how it has been? I'm sure it's a pretty long one and we want to hear about it.
बॉलीवुड जर्नी मेरे लिए काफ़ी सरियल रही है. वो कहते हैं ना कि इन बॉम्बे योर लाइफ चेंजेस ऑन अ फ्राइडे, एंड मेरे साथ मर्दानी नाम के फिल्म में वो हुआ था क्योंकि एज अ डेब्यूटेंट आई हैड स्पेंट अबाउट 3 years ऑडिशनिंग, मीटिंग प्रोड्यूसर्स, मीटिंग कास्टिंग डायरेक्टर्स, एंड देन फाइनली व्हेन आई गॉट दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी, ऑल्दो रोल था अंटैगनिस्ट का, एक एंटी हीरो का, but it had Rani Mukherjee, it was being directed by late Pradeep Sarkar, it was produced by Aditya Chopra, so there was nothing in it that I could pick and say कि यार ये करूँ कि ना करूँ. And it was really वो क्रिकेट में कि आपको एक बॉल मिल रही है लास्ट ओवर की और आपको छक्का मारना ही है. That was the situation. And from there on, it was a very conscious decision to do different kind of parts after that and not only stick to negative characters. And so after Mardani came a film like Manto, which was with Nawazuddin Siddiqui. Then there was Force 2 with John, which was directed by Abhinay Deo, who'd done Delhi Belly, which was a film that I was a big fan of. And then, of course, there's Chichore, which was a fabulous college film done by Nitesh Tiwari. और उसके बाद दौर आया OTT का. And I think what OTT enabled me to do was to move towards more layered, more complex characters, both in the romantic hero space, like Ye Kali Kali Aankhein, or something a little more gangster like a Sultan of Delhi on Hotstar. So I think I've been very lucky in the past 10 years to be doing different kind of roles with some incredible directors.
I think we have started romanticizing antagonist role after you.
Oh, thank you. I don't know whether that's a compliment or an insult.
It is a compliment.
Yeah. Thank you.
What do you think? What do you think about the people call you as the most coveted leading heroes on OTT streaming? What do you think about that?
Oh wow!
And take that compliment.
that is a big compliment. Most coveted leading hero. I take it as a compliment, but also a little bit of pressure in a good way, because when you get the tag of most coveted, it means that you have something to live up to. But when you have seen a number of years where you're just trying to get a chance in order to perform, और उसके बाद कोई कहता है कि यार ये होगा तो अच्छा होगा, तो it is a good kind of pressure, both from OTT as well as from the audience.
You mentioned that you've worked with Nawazuddin Siddiqui in Manto, and you've also worked with KK Menon. I want to ask you, how was the experience like?
It is like doing an acting masterclass when you're working with Nawaz and with KK Menon. I think when they step on stage, you stop seeing the actor and you see only the character, and that is the beauty when you get to work with someone like them. You just learn commitment, focus, and being like a magical chameleon, which for an actor is the best kind of compliment. Patience, which is another thing that both of them have, and how to like stay in the moment and not let all of the chaos around you affect you too much.
I think as an actor, patience is the most important skills you need to have to take you through the journey in the industry, if I'm not wrong. 2025 has been very special for you. Special Ops 2 was a great role that you had got. And also then there was Sultan of Delhi back then. And then there was Ye Kali Kali Aankhein 2 also we have watched. Could you tell us about how does it feel to be giving back-to-back hits over the period of 3 years? In fact, more.
Yeah, thank you. Again, that's a question and a compliment rolled into one with a little bit of pressure. You're right. I've been very fortunate to like lead and shoulder some very successful titles like Ye Kali Kali Aankhein, Sultan of Delhi, and most recently Special Ops. 2025 has been particularly special because anytime there is a second season, वो एक थोड़ा सा pressure होता है जब season 1 hit हो जाता है आपका कि will the second season be as good, and normally the average across the industries, it normally doesn't live up to the first season. लोग कहते हैं कि यार ठीक था, पर वो जो season 1 है ना, that was amazing. But I was very lucky with ये काली काली आंखें, which came exactly this time last year, where as far as the viewership went, as far as the audience reaction and the critical reaction went, it was almost double of what season 1 was. And that for me was very validating as an actor. That means that you've done 2 seasons, that's like 16 episodes playing the lead, and people have loved watching it, which is amazing. Special Ops 2 एक अलग टाइप का प्रेशर था, क्योंकि it was Hotstar's biggest show when it came. When the first trailer came out around 2020, I remember seeing it as an audience and just being so proud that on an Indian platform, an Indian series had like an international scale to it. And never in my wildest dreams had I imagined कि एक दिन मुझे नीरज पांडे सर के ऑफिस से कॉल आएगा to say, hey, do you want to be an antagonist in season 2? And when I heard the script for Special Ops Season 2, the character was called the Collector. वो इतना हटके था character कि जब आप उसे screen पे देखो, you know, you can't tell what he looks like versus what's in his mind. He's just technically savvy. He's also suave. He can be a little bit charming. There's an entire episode dedicated to his backstory. So on OTT, I had never read an antagonist being written like that. And I think that's the brilliance of Neeraj Pandey, whose fan I was because I had grown up watching a Wednesday special Chabbis. If today's generation hasn't seen those films, you definitely should. And for me, it was just a fanboy moment come true to be a part of his spy world in Special Ops 2. And of course, the icing on the cake was to go head to head with a KK Menon, because that means that the directors, that the OTT platform thinks of you as being a particular caliber that you can hold that. And लोगों को लगता है कि you know ये सवाल Special Ops 2 के प्रमोशन के वक्त पूछा गया था कि KK मेनन सर के साथ काम करके आपको कैसा लगा. And you know the way the series is shot, I'm on the phone and he's on the phone, and so we've never actually met. So it all comes together on screen, and I'm just so grateful that it worked as a series.
We are also grateful that we got to see you in the show. My next question is that you spoke about layered characters. We know that your characters are very layered. Do you have a selection process of your script, or is it just the story or the director? What do you go after? What do you look for when you're shortlisting which film or which web show to work on?
That's a great question. It's a mix of a number of things. You first see what the story is, of course, then who's telling the story, which is who the director is, and what your character in particular is doing in that particular project. There is this flawed concept that, you know, sometimes it is the number of scenes or it is the number of pages that your character is on. For me, that hasn't always been a necessity. In Mardani, Walt, the character didn't come till the 27th or 28th minute, I think. But it is what happens when that character comes into the story and how the story changes that has been the most appealing to me. But more recently on something like OTT, what blew me away was the layers and the complexity of something like Vikrant in Ye Kali Kali Aankhein, because he's a lover boy, but he's also not the perfect hero. He's a little flawed. He gets into the darker space, but he's fighting for love at the same time. You don't know in between the show ki are you rooting for a hero or are you rooting for an anti-hero. And these sort of questions where the audience is not sure but they're enjoying it at the same time is what makes a part interesting.
You've worked on OTT and you've worked on films. Now OTT are longer formats and films are usually done in like a month or so. I want to ask you how is the difference, how is the experience different for you in both the things, and how do you cope up with the stress?
I don't cope up with the stress. I try to, but not very successfully. I would say the best analogy that I can give is there is, you know, a test match that happens, and then there is a one-day international of 50 overs, and then there is a T20. The soul of the game remains the same. You have to make contact with the ball. And so it's the same with acting. What changes though is how you pace yourself, how you maintain a character graph over a number of episodes. When you're shooting a series, sometimes because of locations, a shoot can go on for 4 to 5 months. how do you retain the character and not lose that? That was very challenging, in particular in Special Ops 2 and in A Sultan of Delhi. Both were very big in their production scale, which meant that we were moving a lot of locations over a couple of weeks or months, and that's where the challenge is. But that's also where great writing and incredible directors like Milan Luthria or Neeraj Pandey come in
And
handy.
you also had to maintain the same hair, makeup, and look throughout.
Yes, which is also why I always have preferred to work with the same team of hair and makeup artists, because they design the look and then they've been with you on the journey, so they sort of know the story by the end of it as well as you do.
Well, they say when you take Tahir Raj Bhasin in any project, he elevates it through his performance. It-
Sorry, I didn't get you.
so they say that if when you take Tahir Raj Bhasin on any project, he elevates it through his
I
performance.
heard you. I just wanted to hear you say it again. Yeah.
I see that the University of Melbourne is coming out right now. Okay, so what do you have to say about that?
I'm very grateful. Again, a number of critics have mentioned that in the past. It like I would always admit to this, that acting is a collaborative art. It would, while I very humbly accept that you say that I elevate a script when I come on board a project, but it is also the end goal of great writing, of great direction, and of course there's like great co-stars. So it's a collaborative sport, but there is also a lot of detailing that goes into picking the kind of project that also stands out within the script. And for me, right from Mardani to a Special Ops 2, it's always been about pushing outside of your comfort zone. Like, how do you create a mold and then disrupt it? Shatter boundaries and like pick disruptive stories, so that first of all an audience is interested in watching that story. When Ye Kali Kali Aankhein, when I was reading the script, it read like it was a crazy story. Like, we've normally seen cinema and OTT where a guy is crazy after a girl and then tries to change her mind, and then
Yeah.
there are songs. But here the girl is crazy after the guy and there's no singing. Her father is a powerful politician. And so the gender roles are reversed. With a Special Ops 2, you've seen normally a spy ring will go after a terrorist. But here he's an AI and a technology expert who doesn't believe in governments, and he's got his own philosophy and he's leading a rebellion of his own. So a lot of it is in the writing, and I think the actor's job is to amplify that, and that's always the objective.
I want to ask you do you have when you were studying in Hindu college in Delhi, did you had any idea what your future would be like and where you would be? Like, what does the Delhi boy in you would have thought, and what would you tell to your younger self right now?
I had absolutely no idea where I would be, and I think that's also a part of the artist's journey, is to try and sort through the clutter and first understand what is it that you don't want to do, and then get to what you finally like doing. And when I went to acting workshops in college and did a bunch of jobs after college, that I realized, okay, this is what I was good at and this is what I don't want to be doing, that I discovered that there was a talent that I could then hone in on. My advice to my younger self would be the same advice to my present self, which would be that patience and gratitude is always better than expectation and greed.
I absolutely second that. I will quickly wind this up with a quick rapid fire. I want to ask you which is your go to OTT?
As in a show or a series? As in a series or a platform?
A series.
A go to OTT series. At the moment, I'm watching something called The Asset on Netflix. I think it changes month to month. Depends on whatever is new in that particular month and that I'm watching.
Okay, so you're currently binge watching it.
Yes.
One OTT show you had wished you had been a part of.
An OTT show that I wish I'd been a part of. There was this original show when the wave of OTT started called Breaking Bad. I wish I was a part of that. And if a remake or anything like it is ever made in India, then I would love to be a part of that.
One OTT director or actor you'd like to collaborate with.
And OTT director, I think Raj and DK do fabulous work. I've enjoyed everything that they've done, and they've really cracked the story outline in India and Indian audiences. And so it would be great to be a part of anything that they do.
All right, with this, we are winding up. Thank you so much, Tahir. You've been great, you've been charismatic, you've been yourself, which is amazing. And the key to, I think, the takeaway would be that patience and gratitude is the key, right?
Yes, always. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.